Hello there. You're muted.
How's that?
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah.
Hey, nice to meet you. Thanks for calling in a meeting.
So I'm Lyra. This is Nathan.
I'm Nate.
Hi, Nathan.
I said you got some sun over there. It looks nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's just spring, so the sun's coming back now. It's great.
So fill us in. You guys are doing outdoor theater and role playing and all that through virtual game playing.
Yeah, so I guess the two games that I'm involved in which relate, one is CivilX and the other one is Vicarious. So Vicarious is my personal project, which is the one you're talking about, the outdoors kind of vicariously play a human avatar with online role-playing people.
Yeah.
And open world theater in general, that's my initiative. And it's all about public displays of humanity, playing on that leverage point of natural law mixed with the social construct of what we think is right or wrong, and being in Western civilization. So that's really the place I play in a lot, and that also leads from my personal work. So I'm a coach, and I sort of help people step out of the illusion of society and into more intuitive, natural, beautiful things. And then obviously with CivilX, it relates because CivilX is going to be this digital world that relates to real world projects and helps people connect and gamify this idea of participation and leveling up yourself as a character in life. And that's got a huge correlation as well between my game and CivilX. So yeah, that's the lifeblood at the moment. I'm here in Auckland. I've played around the world. So I've played across the States. I went from New York to LA, just using art as currency, as a social experiment to see what we can do beyond money. I've gone across Australia, similar process. I've traveled through Spain and Greece and various places. So yeah, I'm a game designer, and I like to play test game theory and play mechanics and the philosophy of these kind of things of creativity in the quote unquote real world setting of like the seriousness of survival and Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Where's my shelter coming from? Food, what's my meaning? All these kind of things. So yeah, I feel in a good place. I've been doing this for a number of years, but now more so than ever, I feel grounded in it, delivering it regularly. And I think as a natural course, I'm starting to connect up with people like yourself. I've had some cool meetings with a bunch of people actually recently. It's interesting, there's open world theater, which is what I started, but there's also a thing called the Open World Alliance, which I've only just recently connected up with just by coincidence. And then there's Our World game, and there's Graham, forget his one. Anyway, we've all got these games. There's another guy, Jonah Lyon, who has the Wheel of Collaboration, and he's based in Hawaii, I think. So yeah, such a joy, like to connect up and to see where everyone's project's at. My goal in connecting up with you guys is really to see what's most alive for you. I've had a brief look at the website and a few things, but yeah, just to see where your development's at, share where mine's at as peers, see where the community is at going forward. And then if there's any value in exchange that we can feed into each other's games or support each other, then I'm totally up for that too.
Awesome. Well, it's great to meet you in person as we are. And I would love to know, have you looked at the badges that were just published that I created on the character traits and virtues?
Very briefly, yeah. You sent them through, and I had a look, and I love the concept. It's something that I've often thought about developing, and I've only just sort of started on that. But yeah, does that feel like a key thing that you're bringing forward at the moment?
Well, we're looking at the inspiring, empowering superheroes in everyday life, because we have a hero within us, and it's just waiting to explode. And so this is about celebrating that and inspiring people to continue being heroes in their daily lives, taking on missions that they are capable of doing, and enriching their lives as well as the lives of those that are around them and their community.
No, beautiful. I'd be interested to know, with the game mechanics that you're using, do you see your game to be like an overlay over basic kind of life improvement personal development stuff, which would be beautiful, or do you see like a different an internal economy in the game happening, or the game itself being a culture, and potentially does your work link in with spiritual concepts, or AI, or just interested to know what you're drawing on, because I
It's
see that with the work
basically
that we're
yes,
doing
straight across the board.
across all the board. Okay, go.
Yeah, it's basically the same answer. Yes, straight across the board.
Cool. And what sort of
Yeah, you
gameplay
were
have you
talking about
guys done
natural
on it?
law earlier. Yeah, you were bringing up natural law, and that the more we as people investigate and learn about that, we realize, oh, it comes down to a nutshell of the golden rule. Treat me like you want to be treated yourself, and it doesn't matter what position we're in. Is it balanced? Is there an infringement, and is it consensual, and to what degree? Like, is there informed consent? And the fastest growth path possible, and we've seen it in the field of gaming over the past 5 years or so, of forward movement is the accelerated path. And we've already seen this in stuffy environments being implemented by like Yahoo, Google, AT&T, Apple, all about the environment, freeing up the constrictions. At the same time, we're saying a lot of people are really confused about what is okay and what's not okay. They're confused about themselves. They're confused about, you hurt me, when someone slaps a pink dildo on your arm, oh, it's the end of the world. That's a bit different. What happened if someone shot you with an arrow? It would not be the same thing, would it? No. So that has a lot to do with our value systems and how we're able to perceive them.
And our armor in our character traits, in having that ability to not only discern, but be able to make sense using those sense-making skills through our positive values and character traits and virtues. So,
she's a Reiki master. I'm into like philosophy and culture, all kinds of diversity, and we've realized the world basically from every culture says the same stuff. It's just from a different perspective, and it's a unique coloring for the environment, the culture, and everything. But at the root, we're all saying the same stuff and believe the same stuff. That's why we have like natural law, for example. It's recognized as ultimate supreme authority that shouldn't have to be even spoken. It's inherent within us, and we know it. It's just on paper to be referenced, because if everybody gets confused, has a bad day, no, that's not the way it is, say, okay, let's point to it. Easy. And we've seen from all of our different countries, laws, for example, get extremely convoluted, just distorted and just disjointed, mimicking an insane asylum, and how the things get so chaotic and it's not productive. It becomes more of an injury when you don't have everybody in a positive flow. Like, I've done caregiving, I've been in the medical field working with early education from toddlers up into hospice, that have been through a few different wars, dementia, all kinds of different things, physical and mental disabilities, Asperger's, different forms of autism. If someone's got spina bifida or ALS, from my perspective, I've been able to notice all these threads going through all these different situations that are just the same.
It's like The Power of Myth by Joseph Campbell.
Yeah,
it's colored by our own perspectives and limitations. And most often the case, like with my own experience, if I start not leaning on them to start something, but if I start in being inviting and not treating them as disposable, but hi, I'm so and so. How are you today? What can I help you with? You know, treating someone with a little bit of dignity just for what we would like, what would put a smile on our own face,
For
and it all
sure.
builds
No.
out of there. Just having an
Yeah.
open ear and a little bit of consistency does amazing things.
Mm.
And for a lot of people nowadays, there's that identification with superheroes and heroes within our society. And so we're working on compiling a correlation between a lot of different modalities. So we have, you know, the Ayurvedic and Tibetan and Indian teachings, and then we have the Christians, and then, you know, all these other faiths that we want to have correlating, showing these correlations in a positive and growing manner. Like, this is, you grow by learning and acting in this manner, whether you're a Hindu, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Jew. You know, these are the harmonic frequencies that will resonate when you do these things, when you act in this way as a compassionate person, etc. And so what we've started compiling here, using the system, is looking at the chakra system and going down through it to correlate with the character strengths and the virtues, and then also talking about like part of life that each chakra is involved with, and the harmonic resonance frequency of each chakra, and then the affirmations. We're also looking at games that are focusing on those growth factors in each chakra. So we want to build that list. That's where yourself and other gamers would then start being able to insert you know, your games, and we can start giving that pathway. And and the idea here is, you know, when people complete a certain number of missions, they get these special acknowledgement badges that are in line with the core virtues. And then I'm working on some other badges to recognize, like, how the UN sustainability goals are set out. And so there are organizations that are focusing on specific issues within that sustainability goal cycle. And so I want to be able to have those badges to assign to organizations. But this is about not just, you know, having that virtual game going on, but to bring that game into life.
Yes.
You know?
And essentially service meshing. You know, we want to do that on a real life scale in the world where whatever the economy is, whether it's anything having to do with medicine or exercise or goods and services, entertainment, there's no reason why this kind of a system shouldn't have already been in place, let alone why we can't do it now. We have that much more verified in front information in front of our eyes that we can't deny, just on a personal level, even without referencing. Just we know inherently this is good, this is good, this is good. What is good for me as a person? What is good for me and those I keep closest to me, like my spouse, my children, my my community, my team, work team. It doesn't matter. They're all the same sphere bubbling out, just like our universe with the different satellites in it. We do the same thing with our own personal fields of, like, your personal space. And
Nice.
we've seen a lot of correlations verified on the scientific side, like your harmonic resonance. You know, you can actually measure this. This isn't hocus pocus, black magic stuff. This is stuff that a lot of people have put a lot of time and effort and just so much of themselves into to contribute to the greater good. And the largest deficiency that we've recognized is the disjointed nature of our current society in wanting to do, hey, I want to do my little niche. I want to do my own thing. And at the same time, that's not bad. It does turn a little sour, like you're cutting your own nose when you don't reach outside the box to get additional input and try to do a harmonic flow. How can we engage on the best levels and not focus on those things that we don't agree on? Okay, well, you know what? Maybe you're 23 and I'm 59, or you come from New Zealand and I was born in the US. We're not exactly equal. We are of equal potential as humanity. You're an amazing individual, dictated by your choices and your choices alone, and influenced by your environment. You take responsibility for that. That's what you own, whether you like it or not. It's the cards that you were given. Same thing for me, same thing for her. And we don't need to dwell on that, the world's not the way I want it.
It's what we can all do to make the world like better for everyone, improving the quality of life for all citizens within our communities. There's been a lot of discussion I see on just for intentional communities. Just let's take that little bubble right there.
That's a good one.
So we're involved in a group that talks about intentional communities and wanting to bring people in, but the big concern that keeps coming up is, well, if you aren't a vegan and you poop in a toilet and not a porta potty, and like all of these specific nuances, you have to be prepared to either accept what they're saying when they accept you into their community, or you're going to have to leave. And that, sours everything for everyone. If you don't have a pre it's like pairing with people, but we're talking about communities.
Like a checklist.
Like a checklist of what are my needs? What am I comfortable with in my bubble? What kind of people, what kind of energy do I want to attract? Do I want to be a part of? And then from there, we have more harmonic communities that develop, that can grow from that without having the issue of argumentation and misrepresentation of information. And then the other piece is a lot of people don't want to buy into an intentional community. They want to rent. They want to do a trial. And, that should be a possibility. And it should be easy for those types of people to find that, because that helps grow the whole idea of having intentional communities, to be able to have that opportunity to try it out. If it doesn't go right, maybe you can learn some things from that intentional community that you can take and build with another intentional community.
For sure.
That's just one of the missions that we're working on. So we have missions that
Beautiful.
we're constantly getting developed while we're putting this together. So this is not a complete package yet. We are in beta testing right now, and we do have a ticket system that people can put in requests through. We have a portal for agents, which we are calling players. Right now we're using OS tickets, so we're using a lot of open source sites and tools right now, but we're looking to be able to consolidate it into one package eventually here.
Cool. Well, it sounds like we're so aligned. Like so many things you're saying are what I work with, and philosophies there, and yeah, we're totally on the same team, which is beautiful. I'm just hearing myself in the echo on the screen for some reason, so it's distracting me. Is there a way to turn my voice down a little bit?
Check.
I went to a museum installation once and I had that. You had like headphones and a voice, and your voice is delayed by half of a second. It's really hard to speak. Thanks for that.
It'll drive us nuts too.
Yeah.
For reception, I'm sure.
So yeah, so totally aligned. So totally on the same team. And I guess my question would be, how do we now work together? How do we play together more appropriately? And the two things that occur to me are either we could use each other's systems, or we could work out the input output modules where something from my game feeds your game, something from your game feeds my game. And so yeah, that'd be a cool conversation to have. And the immediate way that I could see we could play each other's games would be that I, as a Vicarian, and more of my time is going to be taken up in game. I'm giving myself until the end of the year to kind of establish the system, have it really easily visually readable, easy for new people to understand what it is, etc. Build a community on Twitch and stuff. And next year, more and more, if not all of my time will be in game. So having said that, at the moment, I'm playing only about once a week. But one of those plays could be me playing your game. So it could be like, hey, I'm here, the Vicarian, I'm stepping into this game here, and I fill out the form and I go on a mission or whatever it is. And so I document as a player someone who's playing your game. So that's one way that I think I could fit into your game. The way that you could fit into my game would be that you could play me. So it'd be, and usually I curate the team, so it'd be more likely, say, either of you as one of the roles, and then I get two other people. And there's different ways you could play me. You might just want, there's in a few modes which I'd tell you about. You could just do free play. You could do legend mode where you're trying to improve my life. You could do archetype mode when you're unlocking these, similar to the badge system, you're unlocking these experiences for my character to level up. But also you could somehow, and you would know your system better than I know it, so you could work out how, when you're playing me, you could forward your objectives, or you could use me as a mouthpiece for your game, or you could try and establish like a franchise or an outcrop here in New Zealand, or whatever it is, that would be fun. And so it's like, that's the whole point. It's cross-border work. So I'd like to offer those two potentials and just see what occurs to you as how to best to have our games play together.
That would be awesome.
And a part of what you're doing with the role playing and that whole community, getting more stories inputted to not only make your play actually mirror some of the steps and some of the missions within the real world, within on the stage and whatever you're doing, is to be able to take, like, so for example, one mission that we have that's a public mission is Operation Shield. Okay.
Have you checked out that page and the detail, the line out? Oh, I think you're going to love it.
You're going to love it.
It's a vehicle. It's a vehicle for everything we're hearing. We're doing, what you're doing, what Jordan's doing, what Jonah's doing. Everybody that, wants better for themselves and other people, that's what we're tailoring it to.
Amazing. Cool.
And cross division, multi-generational stuff. That's why we kind of wanted to target with heroship model, as well as it's something we can see ourselves in right now, but a lot of people can't make that transition, like, oh, I'm not Air Force, or I'm not Navy, or I'm not a cop, I'm not a fireman, I'm not good enough to do that. Well, the gamification, the role playing, doing silhouettes for characters, an alter ego, provides a vehicle to actually like dislocate from your current mental state to go, okay, I'm going to go kick back and relax and go play someone. At the same time, we can allow information to come to flow their way, data that we know is going to hit them at a certain frequency, hit them in the heart, tug some strings to realize I can do this. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that mountainous hurdle. It's just this little thing one time, and then I do it repetitively. And then when I'm comfortable and strong in that, I can add more.
Absolutely.
Just micro increments.
And cool. Okay, so I can check if you can send me the link to the Shield page.
Yeah,
I
I sent
definitely
you
check
a
it.
link to the proposal. We drafted this up about a month and a half ago. Oh, 2 months almost ago.
Mhm.
Whoa. Okay, a lot has been going on.
Yeah.
This this was based on the fact that we see a lot of vandalism and destruction going on right now because people are upset, right? And they don't have a proper avenue for expressing their dissatisfaction with the way things are. And so this is something we considered in doing this, is how can we make it positive, bring these organizations in, kind of mesh them on site with the idea that people need to be able to express themselves, but there is help out there. We just need to be more connected, right?
Mhm.
So this was the mission directive we came up with, to do this flash dance kind of scenario, whether it's a flash dance or flash game in the middle of the street or whatever, but like an impromptu parade, even, where different organizations are meeting at different points through the parade or through the congregation of the people. But it's not really a congregation because we're all walking down the street, so we're not doing anything illegal, right? And on top of that, let's get the veterans involved, let's get the bikers involved, let's start getting these groups that are already out there trying to bring some sanity to humanity to work together. Let's get out there on the street and show our positive flair, bring some happiness back. It's kind of too serious right now.
And methods to bring to life, to bring to the forefront, and people's vision, that they can have that aha moment of positive impact drive. Get a spark started for the momentum to carry up, and do like a roll tide scenario of positive actions and positive thought, positive mentality, positive constructive criticism and philosophy,
collaboration too.
collaboration. Like, hey, we can team up faster than your town, pit towns against each other, to go, okay, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you, you're cool, let's get together, I don't care where the walls are, and we're gonna beat the holy snot out of you, and no one can say we're the bad guys, because we kick ass for everybody, and everybody is benefiting out of that. So one way we can extract out of that is a community for community service that's actually revitalized, pulling in the services between these different storefronts, for example, and promoting them, doing cross promotion. And we already take leaders in the society and put them up on a pedestal, right? Let's flip that around to where it's actually constructive for us, and we have the capability. People aren't so afraid anymore to speak out or do anything about crimes against them, without having to commit a crime, out of outrage. We are smart people individually, and as a whole, we're not exactly all that there.
Yeah. For sure.
If we have that positive social enforcement, that's what is the glue for being able to maintain these positive methodologies, instead of things just be a flare up. It's a fad. Fads don't have any substance, but you keep living in your town, you care about yourself, you care about your kids, you care about your environment, your food, what are you going to put in your mouth? You care about the entertainment. We don't need to continue to feed the fallacy that actually hurts us. We're eating shit all the time thinking it's brownies, and it doesn't have to be that way.
No, absolutely. And I guess what it sounds like is for you, the lifeblood of the system is to have people play. So people to go on missions sounds like the key thing, the currency that you need flowing through the system. And it sounds like as well, you're really culture creators. Like it's about having people with a certain frame of mind coming together to collaborate and create it's culture. That's what I would frame it as. And so my next question, just to understand, we're all different stages of evolution, and I'm by no means that far in, even though I've been doing this for a number of years. My game itself is still very much early days. But how far in would you say your game is as far as the culture it's created? Do you have many people playing? Do you have many examples of successful missions, or like where are you at with that process so far?
Still under construction, building the foundation, the framework for it.
Yeah, cool.
We have a number of concepts set up.
We have some people that are participating on the missions that are in the creation of the game.
Makes sense.
And we're focusing on the builder's aspect rather than the user's aspect right now.
Okay.
Just like your own
cool.
health, you got to take care of your own health first before you can go out there and go help anybody else.
Yeah, for sure. Establishment. I did have a client call just try to come through a second ago.
Okay.
So I probably need to jump on and chat to that person. But yeah, really keen to continue the conversation. So aligned, and I'll definitely check out the Shield mission. And then if it feels like, it's almost like the same thing could happen. I said, as a Vicarian, I could play your game, or you could play me. We could do the same. We could do both. Like you could play me and get me to do your mission. So it's like two birds with one stone. We achieve that.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, perfect. So I think like at the moment I've got a few weeks booked. This week is going to be me playing just with Hive Mind, so just comments on screen. Next week is going to be like a cooking one. I've got a ritual art one coming up. So probably in about 3 or 4 weeks, I've got the space to play another game, or I could even just double up one week and do more than usual. But also I want to start to cultivate a bit of an audience on Twitch, because I'm doing it via Facebook at the moment through Zoom call. And I really feel that Twitch is the better audience because they're all gamified and, live streaming and all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
it's fine for it.
I'll be trying to cultivate that over the next few weeks. But regardless, let's keep in touch. I'll read through the Shield and maybe I'll send some ideas on how I can best serve the intentions of that particular mission. And yeah, let's book in a time to play.
Sounds great.
Okay. Would you mind putting some feelers out for some coders and web developers?
I'm already doing that in my own projects. So I guess you just let me know like what you're looking for, what budgets are, what languages and what platforms you're wanting to work with, and I can maybe make some recommendations. Yeah.
Okay. We'll send you a link for press and play, and you'll get a good feel of that, how we do the onboarding. Make any improvements you want, jot down some notes. Let's talk about it and get it rectified so it's a little bit more streamlined. We want to hit it from lots of different eyes, because it's not about us, and
No, it's about everybody. It's about collaborating and working together and creating something that's going to last generations, where we're all going to be able to live in a better quality of life and world than what we're currently being presented with. I don't accept what I'm being presented with.
Yeah, amen. Absolutely. No, I'm on board.
We'll send you whatever info you want.
Cool, brother.
I'll send you a link to the presentation passage so that you can start from there, and just, we've got a manual. It's the player's manual, so that's the largest document. You don't have to read through everything, but if you want to skim through, it's chapter 3, and this is like our framework that we've created in order to help, with not only recognition, but inspiration and encouragement and empowerment, and being able to help everybody. So.
Cool. No, I look forward to going through it, because of course that's a huge part, is the user experience in game design. So me as a player, I'm about to some degree play your game, and so I'll definitely give you feedback on my experience if it makes sense to me, and what the process of being a player is, for sure.
Awesome.
And of course,
Cool.
the
All right,
story is
big
going
love.
to be a big part of coloring it.
The myth is huge. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I better jump off the call now to get this other one. But
All
I'll
right,
talk
have
to
a
you guys
wonderful
soon.
evening.
And thank you. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Have a great evening. Bye.